Well, Grant, welcome to the Home Services Growth Summit show. Tell us a little bit about your career and your background.
Sure, Kenneth. Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So my background, 24 years I've spent since graduating the Penn State University, just serving the needs of small businesses, starting out with helping them acquire lead opportunities from printed media, and then moving on as that evolved into more of a digital acquisition motion. And now really spend my days helping them modernize their business and get onto a truly modern platform to help them run their business more efficiently and more effectively.
I miss the good old days of Joe Pa, but that was the last team that beat my team in a bowl game. So
Who's your team?
Memphis Tigers graduated
Oh,
from
okay.
Memphis. And we have
Very
so little
cool.
to cheer for normally. It's just kind of nice to get close to also almost beating Penn State in the Cotton Bowl several years ago. So,
Yes.
but back in Dallas where your company is. But tell us a little bit about your role at Thryv too. What's a day-to-day like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So as the president of Thryv, I oversee our sort of operating team. So everything from sales and marketing to client success, CX, legal employee experience, et cetera. But really, what I pride myself and all of our executive team is just staying close to the customer, keeping the true pulse of small and medium-sized businesses across the globe these days. But really, we have a great affinity and respect and understanding for the home services industry. That's really sort of the mainstay of small businesses that we help to modernize in this day and age.
Well, let's talk a little bit about business management platforms. One of the things that I even get my own brain locked into is describing everything as a CRM or a CDP or whatever the three-letter acronym is of the day. But really, Thrive's platform does a lot more. And I want you to kind of elaborate, if you will, what is the value of a business management platform to a home services company, and really describe a little bit about what a business management platform is.
Yeah, sure. So I think at their very core, most home services businesses are looking to grow, right? So we hear that a lot of our clients, what's your number one goal this year? It's to grow, right? But within that growth, a lot of people draw that to be synonymous with acquisition. I want to acquire more. I want to get more leads. I want to bring in more new business, new customers, et cetera. And the part that's missed frequently is doing a great job of taking care of the customers that you have, managing your customer base, and serving them multiple times and working them for referrals through delivering an experience that's commensurate with the expectations as we sit here today, 2024. So when you break it down, Post-it notes and Excel spreadsheets and calling to collect payment, things of that nature, they've really gone by the wayside. And if somebody wants to truly grow their business efficiently and effectively, they need to modernize. So what does that mean, getting more specific? First and foremost, and you mentioned it already, the fancy acronym is CRM, but people really need a digital client list. They need to understand who their customers are, what they've done for them in the past, so that they can predict what they can do for them in the future, and so that they can communicate with them ongoing. Kenneth, one of the things that we see so frequently is that small businesses, especially in the home services industry, they're so busy doing what they're great at and what they're passionate about, whether that's roofing or plumbing or electrical work, that what takes second place is sort of ongoing communication with their customers and effectively meeting and meeting people where they're at and delivering an overall end-to-end experience that makes somebody want to continue to use them and ensures that they remain top of mind the next time they need services or somebody they know needs services that somebody performs, right? By having a modern platform, you have access to the information of all of your customers, right? You have an ability to communicate with them ongoing. You have an ability to collect payments faster through using estimates and invoicing tools. And you have all of this a lot of it automated in the background so that you can continue to focus on what you're great at, which is roofing, plumbing, AC work, whatever it may be, but have the help of a modern platform to ensure that you do so efficiently and so that you can enable growth.
Yeah, one of the other things too that I think I hear so often is companies will think that they've outgrown their platform, and then you find out they're only using about 10% of the capabilities with it. But for someone to effectively use their platform, how can someone use this kind of business management platform to grow with their business?
Yeah, it's a great question. Regardless of what stage you're at with your home services business, you probably need some piece of technology. And at the very beginning stages, what we find is that people just need to find a way to effectively communicate with their customers and with their prospects. One of the most fragmented things and the hardest things that right for an early stage business, for example, is being everywhere where somebody might communicate with them. So if you have the wherewithal, and Kenneth, you build a Facebook page and you build a website, typically there's ways for people to communicate with you via those two mechanisms. They also might have one or two different emails for you. They'll have your phone number, they'll try to text you, and all of that disparate communication makes it very difficult to communicate effectively in an almost real-time manner. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on is having a sort of aggregating communication that takes all of the ways that somebody's trying to reach out to you and puts it into a singular conversation within a platform, which means that whether they text you or email you or reach out to you by Facebook Messenger, it comes into the same string and you can reply to them in that same area. Now, that may not sound that important, but that saves time. And Kenneth, you and I live in this Amazon world where if we reach out to somebody, we expect them to reach right back out to us. So we need to enable even early stage businesses to communicate more effectively. And as you grow, to your question of, as you're in sort of different stages, you need to add things like the central nerve system or the CRM, the digital customer list. And you need to be able to segment your customers. You need to be able to take digital payments. You probably want to be able to send estimates and invoices right to the palm of somebody's hand via a link, via text or email into their smartphone, right? Where they can quickly and easily pay you with, let's say, an Apple Pay. You want to make sure that your listings and exposure around are okay. You want to make sure that you have a website that enables two-way communication with people. You want to make sure that you communicate ongoing via text and email marketing, so that when you understand the segmentation of your client base and you know that, these 150 people, Kenneth, I did roofs for. So 3 months later, I want to send them some nurture marketing about cleaning gutters, right? Things of that nature, or referral, presence, right? So I'll give you $500 if you help me, get a referral to all of that stuff. You need automation, you need a modern platform, you need technology enabled to do that. And then as you move on to the later stage business that are spending big money, let's say, Kenneth, on acquiring new opportunities via pay-per-click, via big investment in SEO, you need to seek to understand what forms of marketing and advertising are working and what aren't. And our platform helps you do that as well, with some attribution, helping you know where your customers are coming from so you can invest your hard-earned dollars. So that's a long-winded answer to say that at the very beginning, you need to communicate effectively. That's step one. That's the expectation of the experience delivered by any business these days. Then you need to go on to understanding your customer and running your business efficiently and effectively. And then finally, when you are a later stage business spending thousands of dollars a month on advertising, you need to seek to understand what works and what doesn't, so you can be more efficient with your spend and have a greater yield for the dollars that you put out there in the marketplace. So I talk a lot. I'm sorry, that was a long answer.
No, it's not long-winded at all. I could listen to this and talk about this all day, because it's something I address in almost every keynote I talk about. Your customers, they don't care about the sausage making process. You view it as a channel. They're viewing it as a conversation with you. And so if you can't figure out how to integrate those communication channels, it can be game over, and they can look to another customer who may respond, to your point, more quickly, like Amazon.
Well, and Kenneth, one of the things that we try to coach businesses on, take a moment and think about the journey that you put your customers through. Literally close your eyes. Let's say that you're an HVAC contractor. Close your eyes and say, well, how do they find me? And once they find me, am I easy to communicate? Do they have to call me, or can they chat with me? Can they text me? And once they reach out to me, if it goes well and they want to set an appointment, do they have to call me, or can they schedule an appointment right on my website, right? And once they schedule an appointment, do I send them a reminder to make sure that they do show up and that I don't waste my time or their time? And once I show up and I need to give estimate, do I have to write it out on carbon paper, or can I have it documentable and send it to them? And if they want to approve the estimate, can they just click a button and approve the estimate? And then I take a deposit automatically. And then once I do the work, can I send them photos to show that the work is complete, and then send the electronic invoice, which they can pay seamlessly? And then once I do that, do I ask them for a review, which we know is so critical, right? And so it's this full journey. And if you're not doing that, you're filling the entire journey with friction. And you need to make journey as seamless as possible. So we always ask people, be honest with yourselves. Take 15 minutes and sit down and pretend that you're the consumer, you're the prospect that needs their air conditioning fixed, that needs roof repair. And what does that look like to find you and then to do business with you? And if it's not an experience that you're proud of, seek to modernize your business to make it seamless.
Well, how should someone then go about making certain that this business management platform integrates easily with other systems and all of these efforts? Because another piece of this is that, they don't just start and stop with one platform. They see some new shiny object and they buy this and then they buy that, and then they're not talking to each other and they don't invest the time to get them to talk to each other. And then it becomes a big old MarTech mess.
Absolutely. Kenneth, it's so well said. And those are our favorite types of opportunities, right? Because they're people that have had foresight to say, you know what, I need help. I need some kind of a automation system. I need a platform. And so they get their MailChimp and then they implement QuickBooks Online, right? And so now I've got these two mechanisms, but they're not necessarily talking. And then I get a Stripe or a Square, but there's no centralized CRM. So I've got 3 logins and I've got 3 apps that do different things. And I know I need it, but now my head's going to explode and I'm circling around and there's no time for roofing anymore, So it's important that you look to find a platform that you can grow with, a platform that is modular in nature, that affords you the opportunity to sort of build your own adventure, if you will. That's something that we help people with. Now, the nice thing is when you're seeking a platform, you should look for something that doesn't force you to change the already successful behavior that you're engaged in. So as an example, just using us as one example, if you use QuickBook Online, it would integrate with our platform and the information flows both ways. Now, whether it's that you choose or somebody else, you're going to want to find somebody that makes it easy to integrate. Because what we found is you really want to swim with the current with business owners. They put a lot of time into getting their employees to embrace a system. So instead of saying, oh, break that and start all over again, let's integrate that and now use the additional pieces within this same platform without changing your behavior with, let's say, your email marketing with MailChimp. But let's add digital invoicing, estimates, etc. and it becomes one ecosystem with login. Does that make sense? That's the best thing you can do.
It makes perfect sense. Well, another piece of this then is, regardless if all the systems work perfectly, you have people come and go. You have people that unfortunately draw lines in the sand and they don't want this new shiny object. But it's really important for people in a company, especially as they grow, to make this part of their operations, their culture, and make sure that everybody truly adopts the mindset of using whatever the piece of technology or marketing tools or sales tools. So how should we go about emphasizing this being part of the company and retraining a lot of our staff to make this part of the culture?
It's a great question. It's the exact reason. The answer to it is the exact reason why, at Thryv, our North Star is an engaged user, because nothing good happens without that, right? You don't want shelfware. You want to buy the software. You want to implement the software. It comes seeking to understand the why behind the need for the platform, right? So I think that as business owners, when they get their staff together, instead of just saying you're going to use this, you need to partner with a company that also gives coaching, not just to the person that purchased, but is willing to coach their entire staff via Zoom on exactly the pieces of the platform that business owner wants their employees to use and to embrace to solve whatever problem they're trying to solve, which catalyst for the purchase of the software in the first place, right? So I think explaining to your staff, here's a problem that we're experiencing. Here's the impact that problem is having on our business and our ability to grow and my ability to hire more people or to pay more, et cetera. It's friction in our journey. And I know that as a business, myself and we want to grow, right, guys and gals? Yeah. So by implementing this software, I believe we're going to be able to more easily achieve our goals, our dreams, our aspirations of becoming the number 1 roofer in the area. Nobody gets into business to be number 45. Right? All of these brave and successful entrepreneurs, they have a dream of coming in and being number 1. And I think that when you get to those friction points and you realize I need help, and help is then defined as a software solution that can help you modernize your business and get you past this problem point, I think being very open with the employee base, and again, eloquently describing the problem that the company's facing, the adverse impact that it's having on their business, and then showing how implementing the software can help close that gap. That's how you get engagement. The people that fail are the people that say, you're going to do it because I told you so. Does that make sense?
I love every bit of it. So at what point should a business owner consider investing in a platform? Because, a lot of people, the dollars are limited, the time to adopt it's limited. At what point should they consider investing in one?
Well, from the very earliest stage, there are numerous freemium offerings out there. Okay, so whether it's our freemium, which will help you with the communication type issues that I spoke about before, we have a completely free solution that is free forever, not a free trial, right? So the ability to streamline conversations. You've probably used Slack or Teams before, that ability to communicate with internal teams. We have a version of that in the freemium where you can add up to 5 staff. So the point is, at the earliest stages, there are free solutions to help get you on a platform. And then as you engage with that software, right? As you engage and see that it makes an impact on your business, in this instance, with the ability to communicate more seamlessly and remove friction from the journey, right? Then there are other options that you can light up, that you can try, or that you can expand to pay for when you have that money. I would say you got to realize that it is an investment, but it does have a magnificent return. If you're still viewing it as a cost, then you need to sit down and understand the opportunity cost of not having it, right? Because if you're not communicating effectively with existing customers or prospects, there's a hole in your funnel and you're losing opportunity that could be thousands of dollars that could be solved by $200 a month or something. So it's a cost benefit analysis. It's an opportunity cost analysis as well. And you got to really sit down and think about it. But whether you're early stages, there are free solutions all the way up to, solutions that are in the thousands of dollars a month. And I think depending on what you're looking to do, how quickly you're looking to grow, how quickly you're looking to generate more profit. And Kenneth, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but a lot of the businesses, especially in the service industry that we speak to, they love to talk about growing their revenue. And you hear it. I know that.
Oh yeah.
I want to grow my revenue. I want to scale. I want to get bigger. But unless you operate efficiently and you've modernized your business, you can grow your revenue, but shrink what you take home. And that's the worst situation, because ideally you want to get more efficient, more effective as you start to generate more revenue, so that your profit, your take home, is actually increasing alongside your revenue growth, right? That's something that people have to look at. And a lot of that comes from having a CRM, communicating with existing customers, mining and farming your existing base for referrals, for great reviews, which leads to more, to being able to market to them for secondary and tertiary services and products that you offer, because that's so much cheaper than going and just getting the next person and bringing one in and then you serve them once and they're gone. You have got to put a system in place to bring somebody in. It's so expensive to get a lead. You know this. Everybody out there listening knows this. So expensive to get that lead. You've got to embrace that lead. You've got to nurture that lead. You've got to serve them once, but then have the expectation that you serve them for life. The only way you're going to do that is, of course, the great service, which many of our people listening now will say they provide that, but it's a great experience. It's a seamless experience, a frictionless experience where you make it yourself easy to do business with. That's how you grow and get more profitable as well.
One final question before we go to the close. This is going to be a home event for you. When we come to Atlanta, but your company's based in Dallas. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. So if Dallas Cowboys were playing the Atlanta Falcons, who would you pick for?
The Atlanta Falcons. I mean,
Ooh.
But now let me tell you something. It would be a fool's pick. There'd be no way we'd win.
True.
7-10 each of the last 3 years, just fired the coach. We don't have a quarterback. We have a lot of other great pieces, but I don't know if you know this, Kenneth. You need a quarterback in the NFL to win games. Right? So I would pick Atlanta, and I would be ready to lose.
Well, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, fantastic anyway. So, all right. Well, Grant, I'm super excited to hear you speak at the Home Services Growth Summit in Atlanta. Make sure if you want to find out more about Thryv, tell them where they go.
Thryv.com, Thryv, the cool spelling. Remember that, Thryv.com. And by the way, when you're there, you can activate your freemium. Free present just for visiting the website.
Fantastic. And if you want to find out more about the summit, go to HomeServicesGrowthSummit.com. We'll see you February 27th, 28th at the Georgia Aquarium. We'll see you there.
See you there. Thanks so much, Kenneth.
Thank you.